Welcome Earthglow Candle fam! This is our first edition of our fall fragrance favorites. And I can't even tell you how it feels to be here filming this. This time of year is very near and dear to my heart. This time of year is being on the cusp of flannel pajamas, pumpkin chai lattes, apples ripening on the trees in the orchard, cinnamon sugar donuts and spiced cider, bonfires at night. It has all of my senses alive and awakened. As candle makers, we have such a special calling and opportunity to rejoice in the sense of harvest and toast to the season and bring on the autumnal spirit in the homes of our clients and all of whom we have the opportunity to share our candles with. We are getting near the Halloween season. Candlelit homes with all the lights off and all the windows open and just candles everywhere. That's how I grew up anyways. We always had our Yankee candles and our woodwick candles all throughout the house around this time of year, especially. Anyways, it is an honor and privilege to be here hosting this series. Whether you're watching for enjoyment, ideas, or simply to laugh at my sort of enormous pantry of fragrances. It's my spice cabinet, we'll call it. Today's video was at the request of one of you asking me to do a pumpkin showdown outlining my favorite pumpkin fragrances of all time. And that is exactly what I have delivered. So if this is something that you're interested in, then consider subscribing. I do also share a number of other candle making business tips and sort of the journey of my candle business and just taking you all on that with me. But anyways, let's get right into today's video and I hope that you enjoy. As I always say at the start of these videos, these fragrances that I'm going to be talking about are based on my experience only, and only on the experience that I've had to this point. They're certainly not meant to be exhaustive. I think I've tried a total of 6 or 7 fragrance companies, and I am eagerly awaiting my order from Makesy to try their fragrance oils for the first time. But yeah, I can only talk about oils that I have tried personally, and I'm going to admit to you all, pumpkin is not my favorite category for fall fragrances. And so the fragrances that I'm mentioning are the only pumpkin fragrances, like meaning mainly pumpkin. I've tried a lot of fragrances with pumpkin notes in them, but the ones that I'm gonna be talking about today are the only pumpkin fragrances that I have tried. So please, as I always say, do your own testing, and I can only base these videos off of my own experience, and I can only afford to buy so many fragrance oils. So although I am continuing to try more oils, there's a limit to how many oils one person can try. So, and I know you all understand that, but I want to reinforce that my fragrance favorites series is in no way an exhaustive list. It is only based on the fragrances and companies that I have tried personally and that I use. But anyways, let's get right into this. In our number 3 spot, so there are only 3 places, and we also have 2 honorable mentions and 1 fail. But in our number 3 spot today, we have Toasted Pumpkin Spice by Candle Science. Now, this fragrance is one that I had in my fall collection last year, and I call my fall collection Autumnal Glow. Every year is my fall collection, Winter Wonderland for the winter and Summer Lovin' for the summer. But anyways, yeah, this Toasted Pumpkin Spice by Candle Science was in my Autumnal Glow collection last year, and I really fell in love with it. What I was after actually was a pumpkin snickerdoodle, and so I was trying out fragrances that kind of had that aesthetic to them, but this is the one that I just fell in love with. To me, this Toasted Pumpkin Spice by Candle Science is a pumpkin snickerdoodle to a T. I can't imagine tasting a better pumpkin snickerdoodle than this oil smells like. You get the pumpkin, but it's like a baked, gooey bread like pumpkin. And you get cinnamon, you get like allspice and clove. You get some vanilla to this. It is literally like a gooey pumpkin snickerdoodle cookie with like the cracked characteristic top, but also with like some batter to it, in the best possible way. Like it's a chewy cookie. And I sell this one under the name Spooky Kookie, spelled spooky as, you know, you would spell it, but Kookie spelled Kookie. Like cookie, except with a K, and playing off the mad scientist type thing. One of my clients actually named that one. Shout out to my client, Shelby. Shelby Unraveled is her Instagram handle if any of you wanna check her out. She makes beautiful earrings and all sorts of jewelry. But yeah, Spooky Kookie takes my number 3 spot for my favorite pumpkin fragrance of all time. Just take a small sip of blood. Oh, that's right, we're doing pumpkin fragrances in this video. We're not doing vampire fragrances. Maybe that will be a future video. Twilight woods, dark, autumnal, forest, enchanted, Halloween, vampire, Twilight. Let me know if you want to see that category. Okay, and in my number 2 position, we have Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow by Aztec. Now, my honorable mention is the Flaming Candles version of this. But the Aztec version of this, to me, it just has a little bit of a truer marshmallow to it. The Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow by the Flaming Candle, which is my honorable mention, is not quite as full-bodied, let's just say. And it's a lighter hot throw. So I do use the Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow from Aztec. And I do just sell this fragrance generally as Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow. It's a BBW type. Bath & Body Works can come at me. I don't think I'm affecting their business, but yeah. This fragrance is so good. It is a true dupe. For those of you who are in love with the Bath & Body fragrance, this is a true dupe. It's a spot on dupe. And I'm just in love with this fragrance. It is like a vanilla pumpkin latte, but it's like one of those lattes that you get at Starbucks where they put a little bit of the crumble on top with the whipped cream. It's like, have any of you tried their praline crumble latte? If you were to add a pump of pumpkin spice to their praline latte, for those of you who have tried it, that is this Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow fragrance to a T from Aztec, and this hands down takes my number 2 spot. And I do actually have this one in my winter collection as well. I keep it throughout the fall and the winter. Sometimes I just have it in the winter. But yeah, you could definitely brand this one either way. And it really just depends on the picture that you use and your description, but it could work for either season. In my number 1 spot for the best pumpkin fragrance of all time, to me, we have Pumpkin Souflee by Candle Science. And this is such a classic pumpkin, but amped up a few notches. Like, take a classic piece of pumpkin pie or like a baked pumpkin and make it gourmet. Make it, I don't want to say luxury. I wouldn't consider this a luxury fragrance, no. But I mean like a gourmet, like something that you get in a higher end restaurant. That's kind of what I'm going for, what I'm feeling with this Pumpkin Souflee. It's, you get the cinnamon, you get the clove and cinnamon and allspice, those kind of spice notes with the pumpkin, but it's not a dessert. It's more of a hearty, true to life pumpkin, but with a little bit of spice, but definitely not spice heavy. It's more of the baked pumpkin, the Pumpkin Souflee, and just a classic pumpkin, but taken up a few notches. And this one is an exceptional thrower. I didn't actually mention, but the Toasted Pumpkin by Candle Science is also an exceptional thrower in 464, which is how all these have been tested. The Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow by Aztec is a decent thrower. I wouldn't consider it great or much less exceptional. But yeah, this Pumpkin Souffle is an exceptional thrower. Last year, I actually blended this one with Apple Harvest by Candle Science, and I called this one Pumpkin Apple Harvest. And it was a 50-50 blend, and I may bring it back this year. It was a pretty popular candle because I figured I wanted to do something that was a little different than the typical pumpkin spice. And I wouldn't consider this a typical pumpkin spice, but it is kind of a pumpkin spice, like a gourmet pumpkin spice. So yeah, that's how I used this one in my candle line last year, and it was definitely a big hit. Okay, so I already talked a little bit about our honorable mention, the, well, one of two honorable mentions, the Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow by the Flaming Candle. Just throws a little bit lighter in soy, 464 soy, and it just isn't quite as full-bodied. My other honorable mention goes to Pumpkin Caramel Crunch. And the reason that this one only gets an honorable mention is just because I haven't found a good way that I'm gonna use this one. But I'm actually thinking of calling this one Pumpkin Caramel Corn or Pumpkin Popcorn, or you could even call this one Candy Corn, I feel like. It reminds me of candy corn. When I smell it. I don't know exactly how candy corn is supposed to smell, but this reminds me of how candy corn smells in my head. And so that may be how I choose to brand it this year. But anyways, yeah, Pumpkin Caramel Crunch by Candle Science takes my honorable mention along with Vanilla Pumpkin Marshmallow by the Flaming Candle. And for our fails, we do only have one, and I wouldn't consider it a royal fail, but I would consider it a somewhat royal fail. Just not a royal fail like sometimes we get on this series. And here we have White Pumpkin Amber by Nature's Garden. And I'm really sad because I wanted to love this fragrance, but to me, yeah, this one, I don't know. I go back and forth. It's kind of sickening to me almost. I'm gonna put this one on a strip really quick here. Okay, so yeah, like it's definitely, there's just something about it that kind of clashes with me with the amber notes. When I first smelled it, I thought that it was way too sweet, just kind of like sickening. But I don't feel like that as much anymore. But I do just feel like the amber sort of clashes with the pumpkin, and I know this is a pretty popular fragrance, I want to say, by Nature's Garden, and if you like it, that's great. It's just not really my cup of tea, personally. Well, anyways, that is all for this video. Comment down below what associations you have with fall. What is your favorite fall fragrance note to have in a candle that you look forward to making when you do your fall candles? I wanna know your favorite fragrance note and what your associations are with fall. It is literally the season that brings me to life. Sometimes I really do think I'm sort of a vampire. Because a lot of people say that fall kind of makes them like the seasonal depression thing, like winter's coming and they feel like that type of association. But to me, I'm totally the opposite, where spring is my least favorite season because I don't like summer. But fall, like going into the holidays, that just like is so invigorating to me. I've always loved the fall and holiday season. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy. And I'm sending everyone peace, love, and light, and wishing all of you happy candle making.